Hey, what is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I be. Good Doc, Dr. Mike TV, back again, once again, with something that I've actually stumbled upon through the greatness of the mean one. She sent me this article, and I really could not pass on the opportunity to share this with you. Now, as many of you guys know, the Good Doc is very big on speculation. I made a video a while back about what we could expect whenever we are choosing to travel to the Philippines in the weeks, maybe the months to come, in reference to what's going on in the world today. But there's this article that I'm going to link in the description area below. Please take time to read this article. I want you to understand it is very lengthy. It is very long, but it's very thorough, and it is definitely very detailed. And I think that it's important that us as foreigners looking to travel anytime soon, we need to read this. Read this article, okay? Now, the article follows a young lady that was studying abroad in California, and she traveled back to the Philippines, I think, in the month of June. So basically, it chronicled her travels, what to expect, everything that she went through, everything. As she traveled back to the Philippines. Now, first things first, one thing that she noted that I think is noteworthy in this video is the simple fact that you have to book a direct flight. Okay? Booking a direct flight from anywhere in the United States to the Philippines. Direct flights. No layovers in Tokyo, no layovers in Korea. Direct flights. Now that means normally, likely using Philippine Airlines to send you a direct flight from anywhere in California. I'm sorry, not anywhere in California, but LAX, Los Angeles, as well as San Francisco, directly to Manila. I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen if you choose to have a diverted route or whatever it may be, but it's best to book a direct flight because those will probably be the cheapest direct flights you'll find, okay? Without any stoppages or layovers. So the booking seems at this particular moment in time that it has to be a direct flight. Of course, we should already know that. But what we as foreigners are not taking into consideration when we're talking about these travels is, drumroll please, potential cancellations. We're, to an extent, somewhat under the assumption that everything is going to go completely fine. We're going to get our flight, we're going to set it up, we're going to get where we need to go, wham, bam, done. But imagine if there is cancellations. The young lady in this particular article had to deal with cancellations. Her particular cancellation was 3 different times, guys. 3 different cancellations from her trip from California, San Francisco to the Philippines. Now, unless you got extra money to book hotels or you plan on sleeping at an airport, you're going to probably have to accommodate your own cancellation issues. But with the rebooking, I think that will not be a problem. But again, you are not guaranteed anything through rebooking. So note that, ladies and gentlemen, cancellations can occur during your travels to the Philippines during this particular moment in time. And if they do, you're going to have to shovel out additional expenses as a result. All right? So the story gets a little bit better if you read along, because her direct flight was diverted to Cebu. Okay? So it was originally a direct flight from San Fran, I think, to Manila, and it got diverted to Cebu. Riddle me this, Batman. What do you think happened then? Apparently, while she was in Cebu, before she could get to Manila, she had to go through quarantine. They did rapid testing, okay? Now, with rapid testing, I think you get the test results a little bit sooner than later. Of course, probably within the first few days, as opposed to the couple of weeks or so that it normally does take for this particular type of testing. So she was expecting to get the results in 2 days, I believe. You got to read the article. She ended up taking 4 days. So imagine, she booked a hotel somewhere in Lapu-Lapu. It's in the article. And she ended up having to stay in that hotel accommodation for an additional 2 nights because her testing was not done, I guess, as rapidly as she thought, or there were potential holdups with her testing. I'm not going to say the testing was canceled, but it was delayed. The results were delayed, so that delayed her time to travel. That also delayed her, Yeah, her time to travel, expenses for the hotel, and also her time in Cebu City, or Lapu-Lapu more specifically. Now, this is all uninclusive. This does not include the fact that she still had to book her ticket to get to Manila. Because remember, guys, her flight was canceled, or it was rerouted to Cebu. That's where she dropped off at. They ain't gonna connect her probably, so she has to pay for her flight actually to get to Manila, I believe. So that's additional funding. So, with all this being said, again, there's a lot, and she breaks down everything in this interview, in this article, guys. It's very, very thorough. I want you to take a look. Please just take a look. Take a gander. Read the headlines and see which is the most important. I think what is probably most important to you guys is the cost for her travels. I want to say it was in and around 25,000. The rapid test by itself was 5,000. It was like 4,900 pesos for just the test alone. Not to mention the hotel accommodation stays, potential food that she had to pay out of pocket if she did not want to eat the accommodated box lunches that they would give her as a result of her quarantine experience. Anything outside of the quarantine package, you had to pay for it by yourself. Again, it's all in the article, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just broad stroking this bitch so that y'all can get an idea of what you can expect to read in this article. It was very thorough, and I think that you guys will learn a lot about why I am so adamant against travel right now. I tell you guys time and time again, now is not the moment. And y'all think I'm joking. Like, y'all think that this is a game. Y'all think this is Doc just talking out the side of his neck. You think that it's just me beating a dead horse. It's just the Doc not saying anything. But I want you to think of it like this, ladies and gentlemen. I got out of the Philippines at a good enough time. Other people are getting out as well. You've seen it in their own videos. But what I've noticed is there's a lot of guys, YouTubers more specifically, I can include myself in all that, content creators, not necessarily just YouTubers, that are talking about the speculation of travel, but they're in country. So, they're not really big on the international circuit. They're already there. You understand? They're there. So it's different for you to be a foreigner already in the Philippines speaking about the speculation around particular travel and what foreigners can expect when they're traveling, when they're already there, as opposed to somebody who's actually been through it. And I believe this article really does detail a lot of beautiful things. Beautiful nightmares, per se. I just say it's beautiful because it gives you a perspective of what to look out for, things to prepare for. And I like that. We always got to be prepared when these tough times come. You understand? You might spend an additional $500 out of pocket. That's what I want you to know. You might spend an additional $500 out of pocket throughout this entire experience that you may not have planned for. So when the doc says stack your money up, please oblige. Please oblige. I'm just doing it for your safety, for your sanctity, and for your sanity, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not perfect. All right? I don't have it all together, and I don't know everything. But what I do know is I'm not comfortable with the idea of promoting travel at this time. Granted, we're all tired, we're all antsy, and we're all ready to get out. You have to take a moment to breathe. You have to take a moment to analyze the situation as it is, and you have to take a moment to think about what it is you're actually traveling into. I think that's where we lose sight, because we're not taking into consideration what we're getting ourselves into. I encourage you guys all the time to think about where you want to go once this is all done with. Operative word, once it's done with. I mean, I'm not saying that it's going to be completely done, but once we actually figure out how we can move forward as a country, as we can move forward as a nation, as we can move forward as a global united unit, you have to think about what's most important right now. And honestly, travel should not be at the top of your priority list right now. Please. You might be the richest man on the planet, but you travel to the Philippines or you travel to these other destinations just to be quarantined and just to be locked down in certain places, and you're not able to move around like you want to. Tell me what you can expect to get out of that travel. Do you believe that you're going to have a meaningful experience in the country? No. You're going to miss out on a lot because there's not a lot to do right now. Everything's still shut down, more specifically in the Philippines. Things that are open are just your basic necessities, man, and that doesn't include massages, ladies and gentlemen. You might get your home massage, but the massage parlors, the resorts, and all of the things that you would probably normally do as a foreign traveler in the Philippines, very few, if any, of those particular things are available to you right now. So don't play games, man. Just don't play games with it. And read that article, ladies and gentlemen. Read that article. Very lengthy, but I do believe that it will provide you some information that you might potentially have to deal with as well. That's all the good doc wants to say. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It has been fun. It has been real. It has been an unfortunate truth, but this is the way that the world is as we speak. Prepare yourself accordingly. Alright, the good doc is officially out. At least nako paalam, which means time for me to go. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Mga kita. Mabuhay. Peace.